Through the Gears with Jane, and I'm here with Paul and Lucas Bristrans with your beautiful T900 Kenworth, Paul.
Yeah, thanks.
We couldn't walk past this one.
Thanks, Jane. Yeah,
Tell us all about it, mate.
Yeah, so it's a truck we got hold of 3.5 years ago. What started off as a pretty straight truck, and we'll just give it a clean up and get it pretty right. Ended up as a full resto. So it's probably a common story when you buy these things that are 30 odd years old, and the deeper you dig, the more you start to find. But yeah, look, it's come up.
Look at the end result.
Come up really nice. Lots of people contributed to it along the road. I've done odd bits and pieces to it, but on the sign there's a few. The major punters that did the work. Yep. They're probably the key contributors that got it to where it is. So.
And how long have you had it?
So 3.5 years ago we bought it. We started the resto, I reckon, 3 years ago. Yeah. And so obviously fully resprayed, pretty much got taken back to bare chassis rails, sandblasted, bare metal, you name it. Like it. As I said, the more we dug, we run out of panels, so we had to put new ones on.
Well, let's have a little walk around and we'll go over it, eh?
No worries.
What do you reckon, Lucas, before we go any further? You reckon this is pretty good, mate? Yeah, you come down in the truck?
Yeah.
Yes? You come down with Dad?
Yeah, best truck I've seen Dad with.
I reckon you might be right. And I think you need a jumper. Yeah, anyway, let's go, mate. You're a tough truckie. You going to be a truckie one day?
Maybe.
Well, if you got this, mate, you couldn't. Now, it's the motor.
Yeah,
let's go.
So it's still the original motor.
Yeah.
So it's a 3406E. Come out of the factory set at 435 horsepower. As we picked the truck up, had as you expect, a few oil leaks here and there, and so long story short, to fix the oil leaks, the motor had to come out because it was front and rear covers. So Jeremy Edwards down at JBE Truck Repairs in Ravenhall did the engine for us and ended up a full rebuild. So
is that right?
Even though it had been rebuilt, we found a few other issues along the way, as you do when you start pulling things down. So it's ended up coming back as a full out of chassis rebuild, new crank, cam.
And the colour, you were explaining to me, that's actually...
So it's a cat yellow pearl that Jeremy does. So, he said, what are you going to do with the truck? And I said, we're going to respray it. He said, it'll look really cool. And he asked me what colour. I said green. He said, let's face it, green and gold being the Aussie colours actually goes pretty well, doesn't it? So,
absolutely, looks smick.
So it's now set at 550 horsepower, which is a peak, for a 3406E. So, but it's great. Look, original engine, come out of the factory with that, same serial number. So it's good to keep it original.
Fantastic. That looks smick, doesn't it?
No,
awesome.
and obviously, had some work done around, lots of metal polishing done along the way, tanks, intakes, exhaust manifold and turbo. Jeremy got ceramic coated, so the heat doesn't get into it. So look, it's all part of the presentation. When you do a truck, I guess, to this standard, you got to go with the flow.
And it's like renovating a house. You start the bathroom, the kitchen's got to go, and then the floor doesn't match, the carpet doesn't match, curtains don't match.
No, that's right. That's right.
So, and you said about the cab. The cab was a problem.
Yeah. So the cabin, being a 94 model. As we drilled into it to get it painted, the guy that did it, he found quite a bit of rust in the floor. We knew the firewall needed doing, but unfortunately, as we got further into it, there was a hell of a lot of rust in and around the heater box and around the back panels, what have you. So we ended up cabin down to a set of basically a steel frame on the floor and go again. So that's basically a new cabin. That's just the door skins and the roof, fiberglass bits is all that remains of the 94 cab, and the rest of it's all brand new. So,
Can we have a look in the inside of it?
Have a look.
Oh,
no worries.
So, thank you.
So you can see.
Might be able to just pop up there and have a look, right?
So pretty much the interior itself is still original. We did the door trims, the dash trims, put some late model gauges in it just to dress it up a little bit rather than just the original black rim gauge. And a later model seat, but as you see, the rest of the grey interior is actually original, which is in good nick for 30 odd years old, or 31 years old. So
fantastic. And you're saying even these are the original tanks?
Yeah, so all original tanks. So most people that are into their trucks will know Kenworth date stamp their fuel tanks. So if you're looking for a truck, if you sort of come in and have a look at the tank, you'll see the date stamped into it. So you can see 6 of the 10th 94. So all those tanks are all date stamped, and so looking at the truck when I actually went to buy it, I'm like, oh, this truck is actually really original. You know, original engine, original tanks, not been crashed. It's done about off the engine ECU. It's done about 2,100,000 kilometres.
Yep.
So it's actually a low kilometre truck for its age.
So what was its history? What work did it actually do?
It was sold out of Sydney to a company, my understanding off the build sheet, CS Coulter. I don't know them. I've been in the game since '89, but I don't recall that company. And from my understanding, it did actually have a Roke and Wiley kit on it, but for the majority of its life, it carted fuel.
Okay.
So it only actually had one exhaust on it, so we've added that to it, removed all the fuel haul kit out of it, so all the wiring and what have you, and pretty much brought it back to original out of factory.
Yep,
so,
yep, fantastic. Well, you've done an incredible job, mate. We might just pan up around the back and have a look. What do you reckon?
Okay, guys.
Oh, yeah, you got your personalised plates there.
Yeah, lucky they were available, I guess. So,
yep.
And we called it Par's Pride.
Par's Pride.
Yep. So that stems back, the relationship obviously with my dad and us in trucks started very early on, and so obviously, my father's the boy's grandfather, or Pa John as he's known. So we thought it was quite fitting to name it Par's Pride. Is he still
with us?
Yeah, he's still with us.
Yeah. So does he get to go in it a bit?
Yeah. So we actually it really is quite fresh out of Jeremy's workshop. Was the last sort of point to get it running and on the road, so to speak. We actually took it to the Museum of Vehicle Evolution Move up at Shepparton on Wednesday and presented it to Dad.
Yep.
Which was a great surprise for him. He didn't know, so yeah. So it was a really
emotional
good,
for him?
very emotional.
And
it
for
was
yourself?
fantastic. Oh yeah, look, absolutely. It's Dad and I have done a lot of trips together over the years. He's been in the truck. He's driven my trucks. I had 5 trucks at one point, and lots of good people working for me. You don't get to do this and enjoy the end of your trucking career unless you've had good people around you.
That's it.
And look, most companies, it doesn't matter whether you're in transport or whatever, you're nothing without your workers. And I had some amazing people work for me. The 2 McCabe brothers, John and Clayton McCabe, those guys were amazing. Ian Charlton, Donnie Madden, some of these guys were amazing.
Isn't the trucking industry great for that? I've talked to lots of father-sons and things like that, and it's the truck's the connection to them.
Absolutely,
and between them and in their whole life.
Oh, look, and that's what bonds families together. This effectively probably won't be much of a working truck. I will work it, but for me to be able to share this with Dad, share it with my boys, it becomes a bit of a family heirloom.
100%.
Yeah. So and as I said, said to my father, it's a culmination of 40 odd years in trucks.
Yep. Well, so what did he do? What was he?
So he worked in a company in South Melbourne that sold electrical insulation. So he actually didn't really have a job in transport until we got into trucks ourselves together.
Yeah.
At which point he'd retired by that stage, so he spent a bit of time driving for me. We did a lot of two-up work together. So we'd up into Queensland, did a couple of trips to Perth. Two up with him, and it was fantastic. It's to be able to share that the passion for the trucks is probably the key thing. He's probably more of a truck nut than I am. And the other day, you're right, it was emotional, and it certainly. I rang him the next day. How you going? He said, I can't believe that. That was one of the best days of my life, and that's. You just don't get to have that experience. You can't put a price on it, So.
Yeah, exactly right. Like transport, like farming, and that. Like in Australia, it's just so generational.
Yeah, and it's great when you come to truck shows like this and you look around the quality of the gear that's here, the pride that people have in presenting their gear is quite amazing. The industry's changed a hell of a lot in my time. I'm not sure it's changed for the better, but there's still a lot of great people out there that have great pride in what they do.
And see.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
And young people like this coming up through, and look, he may not be a truck driver, but he may. But even if he doesn't, he'll always love trucks, won't he? Because he's now got this connection with you and his pa.
That's right. It's,
and that's what
it is something special. So it's great to see.
All right, mate. Well, look, your truck's just magnificent.
Thank you.
And we couldn't walk past it when we saw it. It's a bit of a showstopper.
Yeah, well, hopefully, but lots of people enjoy it. I mean, that's what it's here for. It's really a celebration of the brand, and and what I've done in trucks. So good on you,
congratulations. It's great, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the chat, mate.
No worries. Good
Thanks,
on you.
Lucas. Good on you, mate.